right, folks, I'm Citizen Jones Hussein. Welcome. It's a Thursday, November 29th. Tells you Christmas is 27 days away. All right, welcome to this morning. Today, Fayemi's second coming, 6 weeks on. You know, my perplexing Nigeria is a country of second chances. This makes her all the more bewitching. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo is about the only man in our living memory to have had a second chance as steering the ship of the nation state. History and posterity are his best evaluators at this point. But at the state level, Ekiti is perhaps the only political entity so far to have had two elected governors with second chances, first Ayo Fayose and now John Kayode Fayemi. The latter's second coming is a mere 6 weeks old. Too early to evaluate him? Let's have a conversation. Quickly, we meet and greet. He's Special Assistant on Public Communications, broadcaster, communicator, Segun Dikpe. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
Thank
welcome. How do you do?
I'm cool, I'm calm.
Hey, okay, it's all right. You are enjoying your job?
Very well.
Working with the governor?
Very well.
I hear it gives you a thrill.
Yes, an excitement.
An excitement.
Yes.
But the big idea is to impress the Oga.
No, not to impress the Oga. He is not given to that. He is not for cheap populism. He doesn't want to be impressed. He wants to be expressed.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
This is his second coming.
Very well.
I know something about second comings. You know, it takes me to what the late American president, Ronald Reagan, you know, the cowboy, said. He said many years ago, politics is the second oldest profession on the planet, has similarities with the oldest. You know which the oldest is?
Yeah, the one that's supposed to be oldest, that's prostitution.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I'll tell you, politics is the oldest, actually.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
Let's start from there. So 6 weeks into his second coming, is it too early to evaluate John Kayode Fayemi?
The morning shows the day, and it depends on what you started with. Dr. John Kayode Fayemi has come this time around to reset Ekiti. We knew what Ekiti went through during the last dispensation, and we know what he has started with now. And of course, if you recall, it was 1 week, one trouble then. And now 6 weeks, you see how calm, how Ekiti is, and you see how purposeful we are. You see how focused the government is now.
Yeah, it begs the question of, so why did he miss it the first time?
Did he miss it? He didn't. He didn't miss it, and he's not going to miss it. He has never missed it. He had a purpose the first time, and he achieved them. He came with a 7-point agenda, and he achieved every point agenda.
The first time around?
Yes.
So why did he lose the seat?
Why did he lose the seat is a big question at the bigger level of the political scene. And you saw that he didn't lose the seat, he was muzzled out.
Segun, I cannot pretend that your principal is not watching now, you know, so your test begins here and now. Let's go like this. Yeah. The first time around, Governor Fayemi was presumed to be on a high horse. That sentiment is still there?
Well, it depends on who is viewing it. I wouldn't see it as a high horse. I think he was trying to take us to a level that some people were not prepared to go to at that pace then. Because he didn't do anything wrong. He did everything right.
Okay. What would you say are some of the inherited headaches in Ekiti?
Legion. We talk about values. We saw how values were debased.
Break it down.
When you think of Ekiti in the last 3-4 months, what came to your mind? You think of people who are despised, people who have been trampled upon, people whose leader is made popular, who has made the state popular for all the negative reasons. You see somebody who will abuse the elders. You see somebody who will swindle and scam the people.
No, come on. This thing is not about the last administration.
Yes.
I said simply, he inherited some headaches. Can you share some of them?
And I said legion. Well, I talked about values.
Yeah, okay.
Our value, that's what I'm saying.
So,
He has told us that he has come to restore the values.
Yeah, I
that
know.
were lost.
Let's follow that train. Don't tell me about the last governor. Let's
Okay.
talk about the now,
Okay.
where the last governor may have done a number of things wrong. But you know, he has a right of reply, as they say in this business.
Yes, he does.
Let's look at the executive orders, one on education and investigative panels.
Yes.
Education, he has talked about abolition of taxes for, of pupils and students.
Parents.
How does this work out? How does it work out?
Well, let's look at his 4-point agenda, which is set to achieve this time around. He talked about social values. He talked about education. He talked about agriculture. That's knowledge economy. He talked about agriculture, and he talked about industrialization. So the area of knowledge economy is the one that has been brought to fore with education. When you look at Ekiti, that is the city, the hub of education in Nigeria. We have more professors than any other people can boast of. Yet, see where our education went the last time. Now, he has said that I am coming back with this value, and that is what we talk about, value restoration. The education aspect is something Ekiti cannot toy with. We are landlocked. The only value you know with Ekiti is education. So if our education is going down, then something is wrong. We don't have anything to hang on again. And he has just observed, he made that observation that they presented a gory statistics to him that before we used to be, Ekiti used to be the first and foremost out of all the states that have pupils in school, children in school. The rate of children
enrollment.
Yes. The enrollment now is less than 50% for Ekiti. That is not encouraging. And he has somebody who has been able to identify that and is bringing it back now. And he is going to do it.
Segun, investigative panels.
Yes, investigative panels. It depends on what they are looking at.
What is he investigating?
Yeah,
the last government?
No, the last government.
Okay.
How did we get to where we are now? I just mentioned a gory statistics, an encouraging statistics. How did we get there? What can we do to get out of there? What did we do wrong and what can we do right? That is investigation. It doesn't have to do with calling a dog a bad name and hanging it. No, that's not what he's out for. He said he's going to study the books, he's going to understand it. When he came in, he invited the heads of all the MDAs to come and brief him how far they've gone, where they are and where they were and where they were going to and what has stopped the whole process. And they briefed him and he took a tour round to see for himself. He saw the structures, he saw dilapidations, decay and all that. And he said, this time around, let us put things right. Let us reset Ekiti for a better future.
Quickly, 200 million naira to be accessed by teachers in the state, housing, car loans, and so on. Yeah. How revolving is this? Is this politics?
No, it's not politics.
Of second coming?
No, it's not. If you know Dr. Fayemi is an educationist, and his passion for education knows no end. He would rather, if he has to choose something he must do right before he leaves, I can tell you that is that education. He will want it totally restored. He will want us to go back to the days when education is synonymous with Ekiti State. And when you talk of education, you talk about teachers' welfare. If you don't take care of the teachers, what kind of students are you producing? You want teachers who hardly get their salaries as I went due, who hardly get their allowances. Now he's saying that beyond getting your allowances and salaries as I went due, there is a provision for you to access this loan for housing and for cars. And I believe it's revolving. I don't want to go through the details because that is for the civil service to ensure that
and this,
is
in your estimation, is sustainable.
It is very sustainable. The man will always walk his talk. He doesn't galvanize. He doesn't say things that he will eventually not do. He must have calculated.
Segun, you must be enjoying your job.
Very well.
Yeah. To be this patronizing. But it's only natural. Yeah. Let's look at the security situation.
Yes.
And quickly, the last bank robbery in the state, you talk about every state governor is the chief security officer of the state. You
yes.
talk about being on top of the situation. What's the latest about it?
Latest about which bank robbery?
In Ekiti State, there was a robbery the last time.
No, come on, it was rumor. That's over last weekend. There was a rumor of bank robbery and all that.
There was no such thing?
No such thing. No bank robbery last week.
So where is the origin of such a story?
You know, we are in politics. People may just want to start shouting, start distracting the people and start crying wolf. The security situation said there was no robbery. And since then, have you ever had the case of casualties or what happened to the banks? There wasn't any robbery last week.
Okay,
yes.
so we laid that to rest.
Yes.
But that's the problem we are facing. And you say it's politics?
Yes, it's politics.
Barefaced politics?
Exactly.
To float something as crazy as that?
Well, there is no limit to how far the opposition can go in trying to prove that, oh, these people are getting better. No, they are just like us, and to let people say, oh, they are not what they are, let us try to discredit them. There's no, you can't trace the limit or the extent they can go.
Shego, wouldn't you rather refer to them as catalysts as opposed to opposition and so on?
Catalyst has to be positive. Capitalism, that is
catalyst.
Catalysts must be doing something positive. You must be pointing us to what we are doing wrong or how we can do something better. It's not to create a crisis, artificial crisis, to create commotion and unsettle people who are now getting settled with somebody they can trust. So I won't see that as catalysts.
Let's look at the state media organizations, radio, TV.
Yeah, the broadcasting service of Ekiti State, I believe something is being done to restore the station and restore the past glory of the station. The station is still the people's station. It's the station that they will always love to listen to. If you have 100 radio or television stations in Ekiti, BSES is not there. It's like you don't have any. The people are so attached to it. So I can believe that it's coming out back soon.
City governments in this country appear to be very unhappy with negative comments on radio, meaning would Ekiti Radio, Ekiti State Radio and TV and newspapers give room to opposition?
Yes.
To air their views?
Yes. Hear your views, yes, but don't come and create unnecessary sensation. Don't come and lie. Because, I mean, if the administration or government is still the one funding the station, it will want to be the one to enhance the quality, to know what stuff is coming out from the station. What are you feeding the people with?
Shego, you are a practitioner, so you think self-censorship is good for us in the 21st century?
Self-restraint.
Come on.
Self-restraint.
No, I'm listening to me.
Yes.
You know, self-censorship. Oh, because the state stations are being funded by government, so you must play safe.
No, you must control the quality
Meaning
that
opposition
comes.
will pay. Electioneering is here.
Yes.
Say the PDP and other stations, other parties will pay for their jingles to be aired, and you don't.
That we don't?
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying states will rather not. State
That's
media
an
organizations.
assumption. If they have their own budget and
it had been even at the federal level in the past. That's what I'm saying. Don't forget, we are talking about a second coming. That's the thrust here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you talk about the budget and the government is paying the bills of the radio station, I don't know how they want to do that.
How do you make money?
How the station makes money?
Yeah.
The station makes money through adverts, commercials, and other paid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So somebody you don't like or the opposition comes, pays to get heard on radio, watched on TV, read in the paper, you...
Yes, they pay. Are they the ones funding the station?
Okay.
They are not the ones funding the station. So if the government or the administration, the current administration decides not to pay, that is debt. And I don't think if somebody is good with records there, anytime the administration leaves, the people will draw the attention of that administration to the debt is owed to the station. That's how it's done, to my own understanding. If government refuses to pay electricity bill, for instance, because it's funding it, and we've seen a case where the electricity company had to come with the figures Aso Rock was owing the place. So, I mean, if government is owing, one day government will be brought to account for the debt.
Let's talk about internally generated revenue. The first time Dr. Fayemi was in charge, we were there, broadcasters were there, when you hosted the Nigerian National Merit Award.
Yes.
And I remember at Ikogosi. Yes. So it brings me to the spring. We drank the water. Water from this spring.
Yes. I heard, Gossy water then. Gossy water.
Where's the water now?
Well, the water is being revived.
Okay.
Yes, we've drawn caution that
became moribund?
Yes, it went down. It was mismanaged. Okay. I mean, maybe it has to do with policy because government was not running the business. It was partnership with the private sector. So maybe there was a policy or something that has brought it down. But I can assure you that
the new arrangement precludes the private investor?
No, you still have to. I mean, the present administration doesn't want to run businesses. It's still the private sector that will come on board to run it.
But there must be a new template.
Yes, and enabling environment, which is key. A situation where you don't have electricity in the whole of Ikogosi for years, where things are done badly, where somebody can ride roughshod on you and you don't even know what policy will come tomorrow or what statement will be made tomorrow to affect your business. I think you'll be cautious of how you throw yourself into that business.
I'm wondering what your principal thinks about this issue of making the executive become less burdened with the 66 issues on the exclusive list and so on, one of which is states taking advantage of resources in its environment.
We are not bothered. We have resources. We have resources.
Are you exploiting them?
We will be exploiting them. I don't want to talk about what had happened in the last 4 years, but I know that there are efforts now to make sure that these resources are useful and used for the better.
Out of the Ikogosi spring,
Ikogosi is
outside of that,
yes.
What other resources do you have?
We have a lot of natural resources, and don't forget that we have a minister that's coming from a
You have not named any.
I don't want to make a mistake because you start asking me where I can find kaolin, where I can find this, where I can find that. But I can tell you that we have solid minerals in the state. We have a lot of natural resources, which like every other state, it may take some resources, some extra efforts to also tap them. But we can assure you that even if Ekiti has to be on its own, it will always stand alone. Don't forget Ekiti was created 22 years without a takeoff grant, 22 years ago. And we started running from there. So we are not only human blessed, we are God blessed. We have a way. And I always tell people jocularly that one of our greatest resources is our education and our integrity.
Okay, then, education, let's quickly go back there. New schools?
Not new schools, better schools.
Okay.
Better run schools.
Start from the bottom?
Yes, pre-primary. You know, we are one state that also has pre-primary schools now. We have pre-primary, we have the primary, we have secondary, and we have the tertiary institutions. And I believe, and I can convince you that they will be better run now, considering the steps that have been taken so far.
Let's talk about the politics of Ekiti State.
Yes.
Dr. Fayemi's second coming means he's inheriting a state assembly.
Yes.
Not on paper favorable to it, right, wrong?
Favorable to it now that they have a mind of their own, yes. We've seen what they were unable to do when they were suppressed and they didn't have a mind of their own. Now that they can reason on their own, they have a mind of their own, and they know good from bad, they know Mlock from Oni, I can tell you that any good policy will be, they will latch onto it, they will accept it, and they will adopt it.
So let's go agriculture.
Yes. That's the
Are you
hub.
strong in that angle?
Very strong. That's the hub of our economy. You know
Okay.
cocoa, you know cassava, you know yam, you know a lot of farm produce, staple foods, and
But the country is not
cash
exporting anymore.
economy. The country is not, I don't think the country is not exporting. Rather, the country may not be exporting enough.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I believe that
Is it growing enough?
if it's not growing enough, there is potential to grow enough.
Okay.
And when you come to Ekiti, you see the grain, and you see the land, you see, again, somewhere you can throw things, not, digging deep, and it sprouts. So we have agriculture, and like I told you, the 4-point agenda includes agriculture and industrialization. And I believe that Dr. Fayemi, who is an international figure, I can tell you that, has been meeting and has been discussing with investors to come into the state to have a look at our natural resources there.
All the time, investors will talk about enabling environments,
Which is available now.
namely,
That is a rule of law is there. We have a good administration. We have somebody that understands them, somebody they can talk to. We have somebody who is not a 10%er who start asking you to go and bring so amount for him before you can do anything. We have somebody who doesn't develop brainwave and tell you to leave the state today or tomorrow. We have somebody who has a contact, a network, a relationship at the federal level, and not somebody who is abusive or somebody who is not trusted at the federal level. Because for any state to be able to invite investors, the investors need the guarantee and assurance from the federal.
All right. We'll talk about 10%ers and related matters in a short while. But let's welcome George. He's calling from Lagos. George, I greet you. Welcome.
Good morning, citizen.
Yes, sir.
And good morning to your guest.
Thank you very much.
Citizen Jones, I want to first disagree with the notion that during Dr. Kayade's first coming, that he took the state above their level of development. That is not true, sir.
Are you a son of the soil?
I'm not, but I'm a keen observer of what goes on in the political environment of our country. In a state where an average family has produced a professor, was it too much for the governor of such a state to say, okay, every month I want to give a 5,000 naira to the elderly? Do you expect the governor of such a state to be the type of a person that will go to a court and beat up a judge? Do you expect the governor, all in the name of popularity, to go and be cutting more in the market just because he wants to prove that he's close to the people? The one that cares for the people is better than the one that plays with the people without actually caring for them. So the question of that he was too far away from the people, I've never agreed with it, and I still don't see any reason why it should, that argument should hold water. I want to advise the governor in this his second coming to concentrate more on tourism, which he was developing. I visited that Ikogosi Spring after he revamped it, and it was just a beautiful place to behold. Only for the last governor not to pay attention to it. We cannot. Every state cannot just be going to Abuja with looking for money to
George, we, as I said, the thrust is not the last governor. The last governor is entitled to his vision, because they say when you are governor, you are alone. You are at the top. You are sitting alone.
Yes, as a citizen, you cannot talk about the present or even the future without reference to the past. That would be delusional. It's not that you should concentrate on the past, but you should, leverage on it in order to build a better future.
Yeah.
So to just stop talking about the past is to.
I've not said so, George. I'm saying, yes, you look back to go forward. Thank you very kindly for your sentiments.
Thank you.
So,
Yes,
so again, Fayemi is alone here. I'm using alone loosely as a loose term. because as the general commanding Ekiti State, he relies on lieutenants. Does he have a team? A team is as good as the leader, and a leader is as good as a team.
Fayemi has a team, a strong one, and it's growing. He has not picked his complete team, but the ones he has on ground so far are the ones that can be trusted with the task. Now, let me quickly correct Citizen George. At no time did I say that Fayemi was higher or distance.
Wasn't a high horse.
No, he wasn't. Rather, he's the closest governor we've ever had.
No, Shego, but you heard it that he was too elitist. What does that mean?
But that was an impression, and I'm going to explain something here.
No, hold on. But let me take another viewer. He's Reverend Dominic. He's here. Good morning, Rev.
Good morning, Rejoice.
Yeah.
Good morning to your guest.
Go on.
Okay.
Good morning.
Rejoice, in our nation, Nigeria here, you can agree with me that governance looks like magic. But I want to appeal to the government in power now. Fayemi is a very, 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 very gentleman. He's an intellectual person. I've met him one-on-one. He has a way to convey, whatever he wants to do to the people intellectually. He's a very perfect gentleman.
Yes.
So I want to appeal to him. Almost every state in Nigeria is a civil servant state. Look at the incident we had 2 days ago. How could a man go to state secretariat and gang himself? It's a question mark to all of us in Nigeria. Please, let him pay salary. If he cannot build industry, if he cannot build highways, if he cannot build railways that we have seen in our nation years, let him pay, civil servant salaries. It's a peanut.
Yeah.
Not between me and you. What you can use 50,000 to do in a day or a week. But these civil servants are taking 18,000 in a whole month with schools, fees, with medical to take care, with feeding. Please, if there's nothing this man can do, let him pay salary. That will do us a lot of good. We have been doing governance on television, but let the governors go down to grassroots. This is my conclusion this morning.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
many
thank
thanks.
You
Shegu, please confirm or dismiss Ekiti is not owing salaries.
Ekiti is not owing salary since Fayemi has mounted the saddle. Maybe the backlog that was owed by the
He's hardly 2 months old.
And he's paying till date, and he has promised. If you listen to his inaugural speech, in fact, he mentioned never again, which I've since seen as his mantra, which has become the mantra. He said never again 10 times. And one of those is that never again will Ekiti owe workers salary and allowances.
And pensioners.
And pensioners, yes. In fact, pensioners are already being talked to, and I can assure you that if you ask a pensioner from Ekiti now, he will tell you that good days are here. Fayemi is not owing any salary.
Quickly, we can go back there. 10%ers brings to mind corruption, which is a Frankenstein.
Exactly.
And you couldn't sit here and tell me Ekiti State is immune.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't immune. We all heard and we knew what happened during the last dispensation. We knew how the so-called contractors, who the contractors were, and how the contractors were coming in. I don't want to dwell so much on that since this is a new dawn in Ekiti and a new administration. But we can tell you that most of the jobs or contracts given out during the last dispensations were products or were subjected to 10%.
All right. Quickly, I know that state governors had said, look, we are ready to pay a supposed agreed 30,000 naira monthly salary, but we have to do something about staffing. We have to shed weight. Is it Ekiti?
That wasn't the language of Governor Fayemi.
No.
And he's not thinking along that line.
So don't. Yeah. I'm not. I can't tell lies against him.
He's not thinking along that line.
I'm saying governors are saying we'll shed weight, even as we hope to pay the 30,000 naira.
Governor Fayemi has not said that, and he's not planning that.
So you are ready. If there's an increase, you pay salaries. The new figure.
I want to believe this administration is intent on paying salary, paying people their worth and making sure that
as and when
the welfares are well taken care of as and when due.
Okay, then at this point we'll take a breather just so Segun Dikpe
Yes.
will sip his coffee. We'll be back. All right, folks. Dr. John Kayode Fayemi, Governor Ekiti State, is enjoying 6 weeks on his second coming. And so his image maker is here, Segun Dikpe. It's not an easy task when you have a second chance, because it's either now or never. Confirm he has just 4 years?
Yes, he has just 4 years.
To go?
Yes.
Okay, so covering lost ground is not an easy task.
Let me give you this analogy.
Yeah.
A father has given a son a map of the world and tore it into shreds, and asked the son to set it back. Within
like this
an hour.
puzzle we used to have.
The puzzle, yes. And father said, I'm going out. By the time I come back, make sure you set it, just to keep him busy and to make sure that the child finds it impossible. At the end of the day, before he came, the child has done it, and the father came in, was wondering. I said, look, I've since done it in 30 minutes. I was asking how. He said, because I saw the structure, I can identify the structure at the back of the world map. So here is somebody who can identify the challenges, the person who has been there before. So resetting it won't be, no, it won't be tough as people, it's not meant to be easy, but it won't be as tough as people had imagined. Yeah. He had been there before. He was there, he was monitoring the pillaring and the crises that were piling up. And so for him now to come back and set it won't be a tough task as people imagine it to be.
Segun, let's take us to Abeokuta. Joshua is waiting. Joshua, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Jones. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, and you?
Your guest.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good
and
morning.
I congratulate the state for the new.
Go on. Joshua? Okay, lost the connection to him. Yeah. Joshua, please call back. Okay.
Hello?
Okay, you are here. Let's go.
I believe that Dr. Fayemi will succeed. I believe he's purposeful, and I believe he knows what to do. I just want to appeal something that your guest was talking about initially. It's the general talk. This idea of not talking about the past administration, I agree with not. But not talking about it is the truth. The truth is that people need to know the situation they have. So that
Joshua, no. Joshua, it's not talking about it, not dwelling on it. Nobody, no, we'll talk about it.
I do agree with not dwelling on it. I agree. But it is important that people work on, because the present administration will be assessed based on something, based on what they started with. That is why it is so easy for people to criticize current administration without knowing what they have met on ground or what they have to contest. I think the reality should always be there that, okay, this is where we are starting. Let everybody be aware. I'm sorry, I just heard that somebody committed suicide in the state secretariat or so. This is not a problem caused by the present administration. People need to know so that you can give them hope. That, okay, things may have been bad before, but we are ready to work now and to do things right. But they need to know what is wrong. They need to know what is on ground.
Thank you. Joshua, as the cynics would say, the story of the hunt will always favor the lion, okay? Because the family of the animal he attacked and 8 will not come up. So that's the trouble with going back. Yeah, it's pick up the pieces and move on. So let's hold on to that and ask. Inclusivity seems to be a problem here when a new government is in place, including folks from the other side of the fence.
Here's a governor.
Did you get that?
I understand. Here's a governor who came on board and said, I'm going to run an all-inclusive government. And he's been doing that. I don't think inclusivity will be a problem. Rather, what may be a problem is trust. If you are seen to have the tendency to behave, to betray the trust, or if your hands have been soiled in the past, I'm sure there's nothing to include in that. So the government will want to look for the clean hands, people who have the good intention.
Do you have any?
Of course.
Anywhere in the country, in the world,
who have clean hands?
Clean hands.
I think we are
clean?
My hands are clean.
Okay.
I think we are being pessimistic with this. When we say clean hands, we are not talking about people who had stolen meat from their mother's pot of soup in the past.
Okay.
We are talking about
your clean hands are those who wash regularly, like you.
Exactly. We are talking about those who are seen as clean, because perception is everything.
Yeah.
Not those who cannot account for the little responsibility placed in their hands in the past, and you now want to saddle them with a bigger challenge or a bigger task.
Yeah, let me quickly take, Yakub is here in Lagos. Yakub, welcome.
Good morning, citizen.
I greet you, sir.
And I would want to your best.
Yeah.
I think I don't have any doubt in my mind that coming back second time of John Kayode Fayemi, he's going to do a great job. But my advice is this: whatever he did in the first time that made him not to hold salary, I think he should do more than that. Because I learned that when he was in office the first time, before he left the office, he was not holding anybody's salary, or he just for maybe 1 month or 2 months. But having said that, he should be able to tap into the resources that God Almighty deposited in that state. Either he's going to use the PPP private partnership to do that. It's going to be very good, because land that every governor, they are only calling their state civil servant state, civil servant state. I can see in all the nations in this country, there were no state that God Almighty did not deposit something that is using to benefit of the citizen of the state. But to tap into it is really the major problem. Why is it the major problem is that they don't think that they should incite the PPP to tap into this. If we need by law, maybe by the National Assembly, to make a law whereby every state have right to tap into their resources into their state. So to fund the any project they want to bring into that state, rather than every month go back to Abuja, go and take the high money and come back and share it within themselves. So John Kayode Fayemi, close to the people, because around the gentleman in the studio says that he's close to the people. I don't think so, because we often do normally call him elitist governor. But this time around, he should make sure that he's close to the people, he speak the language that people understand, so that they will understand him no better. Thank you, God bless you.
Yeah, the language will be Ekiti. Ekiti language.
Yes.
Yeah. You heard the last
yes,
caller. The sentiments, some of these sentiments will hardly fade away. You know, it's about how people perceive you.
Yes, yes,
so
yes.
Body language and so on.
Yes, I think what we can just say here is that whatever brought about that is being improved upon now. And I can assure you, there wasn't a position like SSA Public Communications in the past, and so for him to come up with that means that somebody must be communicating with the public regularly and properly.
And again, it goes back to what you talked about, bringing teammates with clean hands. Yes. He will need more than clean hands to push this ship further into the sea.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly. People with the knowledge and understanding of the sentiments of the people.
Even if they were not party faithfuls, you know, it's a little naughty, a little tricky.
This is Dr. John Kayode Fayemi's administration and government. He is the executive governor. what informs his choice of the people is not something I can start explaining here, but I can tell you that he's been so far, walking his talk in terms of all inclusive.
What you're saying, if an Hussein here is found befitting of the new vision he has, nothing stops him from calling an Hussein.
Exactly. Let me give you an instance. We have.
Sorry, let me quickly take Dimeji is here. Okay. Dimeji, I greet you. Welcome.
Good morning, citizens.
Yeah.
Good morning to
welcome, sir.
SSA.
Yeah.
Dr. Fine. I'd also like to commend the SSA for his tenacity in trying to open us up into the administration of Dr. Fayemi. Without further ado, I would also like to reiterate that it's also important that this time around, the reality of governance should be felt by the people of Ekiti State. What we have in the climes of Nigeria is that you have these overlord governors who all they do is just do projects, and their projects, they use their projects to, but without actually referring back to the people and connect directly to the people in terms of what the people really need. You understand? It's good because I know that Dr. Fayemi has, good plans because he's initiated some that were good in terms of education and all that stuff, during the. But also, we also need to lift the state away from its snail growing economic state. So I don't think that natural resources is what will help. I think educating the people will do less. Because when you educate people, the people earn more. You give them a sense of belonging and a sense of achievement. And that, I think, is the most important thing for the people of Ekiti. Not that they don't have educated people, but the level of education right now has reduced to nothing. If by the antecedents of the level of professorship, by now, Ekiti should be a place of invention. And I think that we should hold that. We should hold that in foreign. We should see something better come out of Ekiti.
Yeah.
Not just people being educated, but people using that education to develop Ekiti State. And I think that's where the crunch, that's where the test of Dr. Fayemi's administration will come to play.
Yeah. Okay, many thanks. Shegun, we must go a step further than level of education. I'm more particular about quality of education you are giving.
Exactly.
And you remember we used to have the teacher training colleges and so on. That's not here anymore. So for education, it's a tall mountain to climb.
Yeah, you realize that I mentioned the 4-point agenda, and paramount among the 4 is knowledge economy. He just didn't mention education. He said part of my agenda is knowledge economy. I'm going to create a knowledge economy for the state. I'm going to create a place where people can learn, handworks, not just going to classroom to study and all that. I'm going to revive the old technical colleges, teacher training, and places where people can learn trades that can be useful for them. That's what he meant by knowledge economy. And let me quickly mention the issue of distance. I don't know where they got that, but I want to tell you that there's hardly a budget of any year that Governor Fayemi, up to 2014 and even now, will come up with without having to visit the people in their various places and carry them along and listen to them and take their inputs into the budget.
Shegun, but he has no choice. You are telling me he has a choice. I don't want to believe but he has no choice in these things. More so in his second coming.
Somebody with conscience won't have a choice.
It's an open wound. Let me take us to Abia State. Comrade Okorafor is waiting. Comrade, welcome.
Good morning, Sir Jones. Good morning, our guests in the studio.
Yep.
Thank you. Good morning.
Sir Jones, first, let me congratulate the governor for the 6 weeks so far, and we're hoping for the 100 days in office. Now, this is a welcome to. Now, what I would like to go up, let him revisit workers' welfare, because first of all, let me just say my heartfelt sympathy to the young man who died there in that place, what people showed yesterday on their screen. May so rest in peace. Now, the governor should please start as well visit the workers' welfare package. It's very, very important because can let you also investigate and find out what must have led to such a situation so that such thing will not occur. We are not praying for the occurrence of such things. Now, that's going to say, see, education is very, very important. Because without education, you cannot move forward. Without education, Sir Jones, as you have stayed there and the young man said the opposite, he cannot be there. Because you have gone there, acquired the knowledge, and you come back to impart the knowledge and distribute it to other people to do what? To grab. At the end of the day, you are helping the economy, socially, economically, name them. That is why education is important. Because take at least, even the state school, they can find out. Because you see, College of Education, they have been on staff for the past 6 months or 5 months. Let him find out the children. What is the problem at least? Let's go to the vision. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day in Lagos.
Many thanks, Comrade Okorafor. But you know, the illiterate of the future is not the man who cannot, who will not be able to read and write, but the man who cannot think.
Yeah.
You know, even with your certificate.
Exactly.
So I imagine that's what Okorafor is saying.
That's what we're also saying by, that's what he meant by reference to knowledge economy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. It's not just education, but knowledge economy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk about arterial roads, interstate roads.
Yes.
What state were they in when he came back, rather?
Yes, he visited some of the roads constructed during his last administration, and I can assure you that he wasn't really impressed. But
no roads were constructed under the last regime.
I won't talk of construction. I will talk of maintenance.
Okay.
Yes, if somebody had opened up the state for access to all these villages, and these roads are no longer passable, I think it's worse than trying to even create a show of creating a bridge at the capital of the state. And of course, before he left, I think he created a situation where maintenance can even be done locally. He brought the idea of getting these what do you call it? These things to patch the roads.
Graders and
the graders. Yes, he brought them. He brought the generator. He brought so that they can be produced locally within the state. I want to tell you that those things were brought newly while he was about to leave. By the time he came back, those things were still there, including the plant and everything. Nobody opened them. At the spot he left them.
Do you know, I'm fighting hard to believe you. But Comrade Ayo is waiting in Oshogbo, Osun State.
Thank you.
Good morning, St. Jones.
I greet you, sir.
Good morning to your guest there.
Good morning.
First and foremost, let me use this medium to congratulate Governor Abdul-Fayemi for his victory and polls, and the good people of the Ekiti State for conducting themselves peacefully during the gubernatorial election. Having said that, yes, I am happy for Governor Abdul-Fayemi. You know why, sir? I am happy because he did not get the election consecutively. Assuming he got it when he contested the second, then his re-election bid, I don't think he will understand what the people want. But now that he did not get it and he's getting it now, he will surely appreciate the people the more, that this is what the people want. And having been there in the first place, you will understand what has gone wrong and what was done during the past administration that they do not do right, and what he did not do right in the first term of his election. Now, the way to go, I just want to advise, see, the way to go, the future of the country and majority of our state is agriculture. Let him invest more in agriculture. See, agriculture is the way to go. Oil is fast going down. Agriculture is the next base. You remember in the 60s when the Awolowos were in power, our economy was based on agriculture, and everything they did there was through agriculture. So we've neglected that. Let Governor Abdul-Fayemi set a pace in agricultural development, modernized and mechanized agricultural farming. That is the way to go. That will improve and increase unemployment and reduce drastically unemployment.
Yes, sir. Many thanks.
At least it will even help in Nigeria generation and improve the standard of living and equally reduce the cost of living on the people.
Yeah.
Let him invest in agriculture. I want to employ him to please do that. God bless.
Okay.
God bless.
I won't agree any less with the last speaker. And let me restate the focus of Governor John Kayode Fayemi. Social investment, knowledge economy, agriculture, and industrialization. Those are the 4-point agenda. That is the 4-point agenda he has come up with and he has started with. And he's on the right course this far.
Yeah, in intrastate, interstate, state roads, arterial and otherwise.
He has visited them. He has traveled. In the last 6 weeks, he took a tour of the whole state and drove past the interstates, these roads that he left. And of course, I can tell you that he's going to focus on them and improve on them. The situation he met wasn't something that one can start mentioning here. It wasn't encouraging, it's not good enough, but I can assure you that he's going to focus on them, because you can't go into agricultural industrialization without making the roads accessible and passable, opening up the hinterlands. Yes.
But you know, this is a time for healing, you know, reintegration and so on. So there's a balancing act, and his footworks must be nimble, and you trust him to do that.
He doesn't deploy negative energy. So it's not somebody who will start fighting any unseen enemy. Rather, he has come this time around to leave a legacy, to set the tone for a future for Ekiti. He is not, I don't think his footsteps are nimble or what. I think, like I said, he's resetting. He has somebody who has been there before. And like the other person said, maybe he took that time off to be able to see what the people want and how they can be done better. And I think this time around is, the few weeks have shown the sign that he knows what is ailing and how to address them.
Okay. Shegun, okay. We are coming in on the last bend on the road. You want to take it from the top?
Regarding?
The chat we have had, you know.
Yes, it's good that we have a governor who understands the needs and the emotions of the people. It's good that we have somebody who said, I'm coming this time around to restore that value of hard work, honesty, and integrity of the people. That is our greatest asset in Ekiti. You know Ekiti man by his level of integrity, by his level of education. So if we are talking about our people being on the canvas, it's because somebody is trying to force them down to the canvas, not because that is where they belong. Governor John Kayode Fayemi knows the sentiment of the people. He knows what the people need. He knows what is good for the people, and he will surely walk his talk.
I cannot but wish you well, and wish your principal well, and his team.
Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Shegun Dikwe, for coming. Yeah, folks, that will just about do it. But let me say this. I hope Dr. John Kayode Fayemi is watching. Gob, you are a metaphor for all those politicians who needed this second coming. This is your chance. Remember that book, This Is Our Chance. Take it. I wish you well. I'm out of here. There's a program tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye now.